What's up, Flickpop Nation? Get ready, because we've got a rapid-fire rundown of the stories you need to know. First, President Trump is making some serious waves, leveling accusations against Venezuela that have the international community on edge. He's claiming Venezuela is sending drugs and gang members our way, and tensions are reaching a boiling point in the Caribbean. And speaking of massive developments, prepare yourselves because a potential game-changing deal for TikTok is reportedly on the table. We're talking about a possible shift in ownership that could reshape the social media landscape as we know it. Could TikTok be heading for a US takeover? We're also diving deeper into that escalating situation between the United States and Venezuela. President Trump's strong words and the US naval presence in the Caribbean have created a palpable tension, and we're breaking down exactly what's happening on the ground and what it means for global stability. And you guessed it, the saga of TikTok continues. We've got the latest on the reported framework deal with China and what this could mean for the app's future in the US. Is this the final chapter or just the beginning? Make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of these explosive updates. Trump declares Venezuela sending undesirables, escalating tensions. President Donald Trump has reignited a fiery dispute with Venezuela, making blunt accusations that the South American nation is deliberately sending drugs and gang members into the United States. This strong rhetoric comes amid heightened military activity in the southern Caribbean, where the U.S. has deployed warships for counter-narcotics operations, a move Venezuela views with deep suspicion. Recent events have dramatically escalated the friction. The U.S. launched an aggressive strike on a vessel alleged to be carrying drugs from Venezuela, resulting in the deaths of all 11 individuals on board. When questioned about the possibility of further strikes on mainland Venezuela, President Trump cryptically responded, "We'll see what happens," signaling a potentially more aggressive stance. He reiterated his claim that Venezuela is exporting its criminal elements, stating, "He said that maritime traffic in the southern Caribbean had reduced significantly since the first strike." However, the legality of the attack on the drug boat has been questioned by experts, raising concerns about potential violations of international law. Venezuela's response has been equally assertive. The nation retaliated by flying fighter jets over a U.S. Navy destroyer, prompting a stern warning from Trump that any Venezuelan aircraft posing a danger would be shot down. The situation further deteriorated when Venezuela's foreign minister, Yvonne Gill, accused U.S. forces of illegally boarding and seizing a small, harmless fishing boat for 8 hours. Venezuela's foreign ministry alleged that these actions were designed to provoke an incident, aiming for regime change in Caracas. This geopolitical chess match unfolds against the backdrop of international non-recognition of Nicolás Maduro's re-election, with many nations, including the U.S., citing evidence of widespread electoral fraud. The U.S. has also placed a significant bounty on Maduro himself, accusing him of leading the cartel of the Suns, allegations Maduro vehemently denies, labeling them an imperialist move. Audience impact. International relations experts are closely watching this volatile situation, with many expressing concern over the potential for wider conflict. Social media is abuzz with speculation about Trump's next move, while analysts debate the legality and effectiveness of the U.S. military actions in the region. Will President Trump escalate his rhetoric, or will diplomacy prevail in this high-stakes Caribbean standoff? And speaking of deals, get ready for a potential seismic shift in the tech world as we break down the latest on TikTok. TikTok deal framework reached, U.S. ownership eyed amidst U.S.-China talks. A significant framework agreement has reportedly been reached concerning the ownership of the globally popular social video platform TikTok, according to U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. This development emerged from crucial trade talks held between the United States and China in Spain over the weekend, signaling a potential resolution to months of intense scrutiny and pressure on the app. Secretary Bessent indicated that President Donald Trump and Chinese Premier Xi Jinping are slated to speak this Friday, potentially finalizing the deal. The core objective of this framework, Bessent stated, is to transition TikTok to U.S. ownership. While he declined to elaborate on the specific commercial terms, citing that the agreement is between two private parties, he confirmed that these terms have indeed been agreed upon. Chinese officials have yet to officially confirm Besant's announcement and were notably absent from the press conference where the news was shared. This meeting in Madrid marks the fourth round of high-level trade discussions between the two economic giants since the Trump administration initiated a tariff war on Chinese goods. The path to this potential deal has been complex. During the Biden administration, Congress and the White House moved to ban TikTok on national security grounds, requiring its parent company, ByteDance, to sell its controlling stake. President Trump himself had previously extended deadlines for such a sale, despite legal provisions allowing for only limited reprieves contingent on a deal being actively negotiated. TikTok, developed by Beijing-based ByteDance, has become a cultural phenomenon, especially after its acquisition and merger with Musical.ly, allowing it to gain substantial traction in Western markets. Its algorithm, designed to personalize content, and its role in launching careers like Lil Nas X's have contributed to its immense popularity, which surged during the COVID-19 pandemic. Audience impact. Users and creators on TikTok are expressing a mix of anxiety and anticipation, with many worried about potential changes to the platform's content and community. Tech analysts are closely dissecting the implications for U.S.-China trade relations and the future of social media regulation globally. Can this framework truly secure TikTok's future in the U.S., or are there more hurdles ahead? And from the digital world to international waters, we're tracking the escalating U.S.-Venezuela tensions next. U.S. and China forge framework for TikTok deal amidst trade talks. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announced Monday that Washington and Beijing have successfully reached a framework for a TikTok deal, just days before a critical deadline that threatened to ban the immensely popular social media application in the United States. This breakthrough comes during a period of intense trade negotiations between the two global powers in Madrid. Details surrounding the agreement remain scarce, particularly concerning a pivotal element: control over TikTok's algorithm, the engine that curates user feeds. Bessent stated, "We're not going to talk about the commercial terms of the deal. It's between two private parties, but the commercial terms have been agreed upon, leaving the identities of the involved parties unspecified." He emphasized that the deal aims to be equitable for China while unequivocally prioritizing U.S. national security concerns. Chinese Vice Minister of Commerce Li Chenggang corroborated the development, describing it as a basic framework consensus, properly resolving TikTok-related issues through cooperative means, reducing investment barriers, and promoting relevant economic and trade cooperation. President Donald Trump had previously hinted at the agreement via social media, noting that a deal had been reached for a company that young people in our country very much wanted to save, and announced his intention to speak with Chinese President Xi Jinping on Friday. Vice President J.D. Vance, a key figure in the White House's TikTok strategy, was reportedly briefed on the framework. TikTok has operated in a state of legal uncertainty due to a U.S. law mandating its sale to a non-Chinese entity or face significant penalties. This law, originally passed with bipartisan support due to privacy and national security concerns for its over 170 million U.S. users, has seen its enforcement deadlines repeatedly extended by President Trump. Several U.S. firms, including Oracle and groups backed by investors like Jeffrey Yass, have been rumored or confirmed potential buyers. Audience impact. TikTok users are expressing a mix of relief and apprehension, eager for clarity on the app's future while concerned about potential changes. Tech industry analysts are closely watching the implications for data privacy, national security, and the broader landscape of U.S.-China technological competition. Will this framework agreement truly resolve the complexities surrounding TikTok's ownership and national security implications? Stay tuned as we bring you the very latest. And next, we're revisiting the escalating geopolitical tensions between the U.S. and Venezuela. Trump administration confirms TikTok deal reached with China, U.S. buyer expected. Administration officials announced Monday that a deal has been struck between the Trump administration and China to ensure TikTok remains operational in the United States, concluding a multi-year effort initiated during President Donald Trump's first term. This agreement aims to resolve national security concerns that have loomed over the popular social media platform. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent revealed that a framework agreement is in place, and President Trump is scheduled to confer with Chinese leader Xi Jinping on Friday to finalize the terms. Bessent highlighted President Trump's pivotal role, stating, "President Trump played a role in this. We had a call with him last night. We had specific guidance from him. We shared it with our Chinese counterparts. Without his leadership and the leverage he provides, we would not have been able to include the deal today." While the specific U.S. buyer has not been officially named, industry speculation strongly points towards Oracle Executive Chairman Larry Ellison, a known Trump supporter who previously explored acquiring TikTok's U.S. assets. The negotiations, led by Bessent in Madrid, addressed trade and other sensitive matters between the two nations. U.S. Trade Representative Jamison Greer affirmed the administration's focus. "We were very focused on TikTok and making sure that it was a deal that is fair for the Chinese and completely respects U.S. national security concerns, and that's the deal we reached." The agreement comes after a period of repeated deadline extensions by President Trump for TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, to divest its U.S. operations. A bipartisan law, signed by former President Joe Biden, had mandated such a sale due to national security risks associated with the app's Chinese ownership, affecting its approximately 170 million U.S. users. Trump's stance evolved, influenced by TikTok's perceived role in boosting his appeal among young voters during the 2024 election. Audience impact. Users and creators are reacting with cautious optimism, hoping for stability on the platform, while policy experts analyze the geopolitical implications and the specifics of the U.S. buyer's involvement. The deal's success hinges on navigating complex ownership structures and ensuring compliance with U.S. national security mandates. With a deal seemingly in place, what does the future hold for TikTok and its users under new potential ownership? And coming up, we're diving back into the intense diplomatic and military posturing between the U.S. and Venezuela. That's a wrap on today's explosive updates. We saw President Trump escalating tensions with Venezuela over accusations of sending drugs and gang members. Then, a potential framework deal for TikTok emerged from U.S.-China trade talks, signaling a possible shift in ownership. We also delved deeper into the U.S.-Venezuela standoff, with military deployments and strong rhetoric on both sides. And finally, we covered the latest on the reported TikTok deal, exploring what it means for the app's future in the U.S. Don't miss out on any of these critical stories. Make sure you're subscribed to FlickPop, hit that notification bell, leave us a comment below with your thoughts, and follow us on all our social media channels for more exclusive content. We'll see you in the next one.